Because as a Christian, my example in Jesus Christ tells me that what happened to the Rohingya Muslims was a crime, and it was wrong, and it was unjustifiable.
Also, my example says that it's wrong.
But you're the only one trying to justify it.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Any soul, any living soul that dies unlawfully is like killing the entire humanity. That's a verse from the Quran.
Can I reply?
Any unlawful death is not accepted.
Can I reply?
Regardless of your background, regardless of whatever you believe in.
Yeah.
So, about the expulsion of the Christians or the Jews.
And the Jews, yeah.
Okay, because they were used.
Establish the Islamic religion.
Yes, but it's not.
So the justification that this brother gave is that the expulsion of the Christians and the Jews was to establish the Islamic religion. That's the justification. Is that fair? So there you go. That's the justification for genocide. That is what this is. I respect the fact you're being honest. Thank you. I respect the fact you're being honest. So there you go. He's just outed you, bro.
No, because the people that were residing.
He's disagreeing with you. You're saying there's no justification. He's just given a justification. So who's right? This Muslim or this Muslim?
I'm saying there is no justification to kill people and kick them out of
He says differently.
But that doesn't say to kill them.
So, sorry. You've just spent five.
I would like you to speak to him. My English is not that good.
Okay. So the point is, whilst we were talking, he spent 5-10 minutes looking for the context, looking for the justification. And he has said that according to the text, the justification was for the establishment of an Islamic caliphate.
No.
For the establishment.
Not
He's
Islamic
nodding his
caliphate.
head and saying yes.
If this is true, you shouldn't see a single Christian in Egypt.
Right.
We have 10% Christians in Egypt,
So,
for example.
no, that doesn't follow. That logic doesn't follow. That logic doesn't follow.
More than 12 million.
Mohammed, that logic doesn't follow.
But it doesn't, no.
It doesn't follow. That logic doesn't follow.
No.
Let me ask you this question, Mohammed, right? I have demonstrated to you using your hadiths that Muhammad justifies expelling Christians and Jews from the Arabian Peninsula, and your brother Muslim said that the justification for that was the establishment of an Islamic state.
You quoted one hadith.
Is that a problem?
You quoted one hadith out of 9,000.
Sorry,
Okay?
sister, we're talking.
When a ruling takes place, yes, it's idol worship and all this, but
Oh, is that a justification? Right. So let me ask you this question. As far as I'm concerned, Mohammed, Muslims are idol worshippers. Muslims are idol worshippers. So can I expel Muslims from the UK? No. In other words, if Muhammad does it to someone else, it's okay. But if someone does it to Muslims, it's not okay.
No, I didn't say that.
That's exactly what you just said.
We are not idol worshippers. No?
You are idol worshippers, but let's not change the topic.
Okay, what's the
Let's
idol?
not change the
What's the idol
topic.
that we worship?
The rock in Mecca
No,
that
we
you
don't
bow
worship
down
that.
to,
We don't worship
that you
that.
point to and you say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar,
No, we don't
as you
do
do
that.
the tawaf.
We don't do that.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Don't
Are
lie.
you asking a question?
Muhammad did
Or Are
it.
you making a statement?
Right.
Are you asking?
Let's
Are
not
you
change the
sincerely
topic.
asking what the
We're
Kaaba is?
talking about
No.
we're talking about the expulsion.
No.
You're running away
You
from the topic,
deflected- You
Mohammed.
deflected to another topic.
No,
that we need to
you're
address.
jumping onto
That
another
we are-
topic.
No.
No,
We worship an idol.
you're jumping onto
So
another
what is the
topic.
Kaaba for us?
Right.
What is it for us?
So,
Tell me. What is it for us?
Okay, stop.
It's a compass.
Right.
You know what a compass is?
No, it's a house actually. It's a house of Allah.
No.
So it's not a house of Allah.
When
It's not called the house of Allah.
Listen.
It's not called the house of Allah.
Any mosque is
It's
called
not a
the house
mosque.
of God.
It's not
Any
a
mosque,
point of
any
prostration.
mosque, any
It's not a
mosque.
place you go on
Yeah,
pilgrimage
point of
to.
prostration. Yeah, that's
So
a compass.
thank you.
That's a compass.
No,
That's a
it
compass.
isn't. It isn't.
Who said it
It isn't.
You tell me.
It isn't.
You told me it isn't.
Right.
You telling
One
me
second.
it is not.
It is not a compass. No.
So I'm worshipping something.
Shall I
wrong
tell you
now.
what a
So
compass
I'm worshipping
is?
the wrong way.
Yes, you are.
So you're telling me
It is not a
that I am
compass.
praying to.
A compass points to magnetic north.
No. I'm
The
telling
Kaaba
you,
is not a
prayer
compass.
for us.
It is not a
We
compass.
pray towards
Yes,
the
it's a point.
direction.
Exactly, it's a
Yeah, so
point
it's
of
a
direction of prayer.
It's a direction.
It is a mosque. It's meant to be the first mosque.
So what?
Which
What's wrong with that?
So what?
So we worship
Now
the mosque.
notice how he's run away
So do
from
we
the.
worship the mosque?
Notice how he's run away from the point about
wait.
genocide.
No, I'm not trying to
Notice
go
he's
away.
running away.
You opened another topic. You
No,
opened another
Mohammed,
topic.
you running
No,
away
no,
from
no,
it.
no. You
Your
opened another
justification.
No, I'm not justifying.
Your
No, I'm not
justification
justifying.
for Muhammad's plan to commit genocide
No,
was because of
not even a
idolatry. That's
single
what you
tribe.
said, isn't it?
Not even
Thank
a
you. He's
single-
shaking his head. He's saying
Not-
yes.
Not even a single
So
tribe.
I then said, because he
Not
said,
even a single tribe
you kill
was
people-
compulsory expelled. No. In Yemen,
Right.
you had more Jews.
So-
No.
so,
This is the Arabic Peninsula.
why? What happened?
Yemen is Arabic Peninsula.
Where are the-
You had more Jews there.
where
No,
are the
no,
Christians
no.
in the Arabian
No.
Peninsula today?
What do you mean, where are they?
They were forced out. All of the Christians that are in Saudi Arabia today
There is no.
are not.
There were no Christians in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, they were.
No.
They're
were
Ethiopians in the Yemen
They were
Peninsula,
Jews.
and they were Assyrian Christians in the northeast.
Syrians exist. They still
Right.
exist.
Now you've made yourself another problem. Now you've made yourself another problem.
No problem.
Because what you've just said,
exist.
what he just said was,
Lebanon is a
there were
Christian
no
majority, but
Christians in the
Jewish.
Arabian Peninsula. Did you all hear him say that?
Yes.
Right. So why did Muhammad plan to expel Christians that weren't there? Tell us that. Why did
I'll
Muhammad?
tell you that.
Yeah, go on, tell me.
So the facts, the factual facts.
Yes, go on, the
it is
factual
not
facts.
Compulsory.
What does expel mean? Is it
No,
voluntary?
He did not commit. No.
Can
He
I
did not
voluntarily
commit that.
expel
How-
you?
How did we still have
What does expel mean?
Jewish tribes in
What does
Medina?
expel mean?
How did we still have Jewish tribes in Medina?
Yeah.
The Prophet was talking about limiting the existence of them because they are idol worshippers. Because the religion of Islam is the true religion. So Jews that lived in Yemen still lived in Yemen. And until today you have Jews that live in Yemen. And Yemen is a part of the Arabic Peninsula. If you're talking about Syria, still Christians there. Lebanon is 80% Christian or 70%, I'm not sure. But it's the majority Christian. Okay? In Egypt you have a minority Christian.
Talking about the Arabian Peninsula. Stop going
Yemen
all the
is
places.
part of the Arabic Peninsula.
And where are the
And you had
Christians
Jews
of the
over there.
Najaf?
You had Jews over
The
there.
Najaf were driven out. The Christians from Najaf were driven out.
Show me a history.
But let me answer his problem. Let me
which prophet kicked
let's-
out a peaceful.
Yes.
No. Sorry.
It's all right. Don't worry. It happens.
Show
So-
me a proof in which a peaceful nation
Yes.
was kicked out
Yes.
from the land of the Muslims
Okay.
on the basis of the religion only.
Right.
Just give me one example.
So hold on, Mohammed. You've asked a question. Now you've got to listen to it. You've raised a number of points. Why are there some Jews that survived in Yemen?
Not survived.
Well,
They
firstly,
exist and they live.
now notice he's interrupting, but he'll complain if I
What do you mean
interrupt him.
survive? You're
He'll
saying that we
complain.
killed them until
From
there
now
were some
on,
that
I'm going
survived.
to interrupt Mohammed continuously in the rest of this conversation because he asked a question, but he can't listen to the answer. Firstly, there's no evidence that those Yemeni Jews are connected to the Jews that existed in the 7th century. They could have migrated there after
How?
the
How are they
7th
allowed to
century.
migrate there?
Secondly,
How are they
the
allowed
Jews
to
are tiny communities. And it's not like they had street cameras and the internet and Google Maps to find synagogues and Jewish peoples. But what he isn't telling you is that there was a thriving Christian community in the Najaf, and that there are churches in the Arabian Peninsula. And none of those Christian communities survive to the present day. Why?
Ethnic cleanse.
Because they were ethnically cleansed.
All of them.
Were they cleansed by Muhammad? No, because Muhammad died. It was done by his successors.
Abu Bakr.
The fact that there are Christians in Egypt and Syria from the 7th century proves to us that there was an ethnic cleansing of Christians in the Arabian Peninsula, because Egypt and Syria, Iraq demonstrate to us that Muslims can let Christians survive. And we know that there were Christians in the Najaf and in northwestern Arabia, because the Christian churches that set up those Christian colonies testify to that fact. The hadiths testify to that fact. It was a Christian kingdom from Yemen that sent an army to try and destroy Mecca. How do you send an army if you're not in your thousands and tens of thousands? That's not me talking. That's Islamic sources talking. The point that Muhammad is running away from, and he doesn't want to debate, is that we've shown him that his greatest example, Muhammad, wanted to commit a genocide against Christians and Jews.
Are you listening?
And this brother has admitted that he wanted to do it for the establishment of an Islamic state and because of idolatry. But if anyone tried to expel the Muslims because of their idolatry, or to establish a Christian state, without a shadow of a doubt, these two would say that it is wrong. So in other words, if Muhammad does it, it's okay, but if someone does it to the Ummah, it's a crime.
Are you done?
Yes.
So, what army are you talking about that came from Yemen? What's the name of that nation?
Okay, so it's the Christians.
I'm just
They came
curious
from
to know.
Ethiopia.
Okay, so
They were from
Ethiopia is
Ethiopia.
not Yemen. So Ethiopia is not
They
Yemen.
had. Do you know that the Ethiopians had an empire that went into the Arabian
Yeah, of course,
Peninsula?
called al-Habasha.
There you go. He's
It's called
just
al-Habasha.
admitted it.
It's called al-Habasha,
He's
yeah.
just admitted
Yeah,
it.
we admit it.
Thank you. So I'm not wrong then, am I?
Some Muslims migrated to Habasha.
This is a.
Wait.
They're not even
Actually,
thinking.
you
They're
are not
saying that I'm
thinking.
wrong
You are not thinking.
by
You told
admitting
me
that I'm
it's a
right.
Yemen. You told me it's an empire in Yemen. It's an empire in Ethiopia. You're talking about Habasha.
Did
Some
it?
Muslims
Was that
actually
in the Arabian
migrated there.
Peninsula?
Some Muslims
Was it
actually
in the Arabian
migrated there.
Peninsula?
What?
Was it in the Arabian Peninsula?
No, it's in Ethiopia. It's in Africa.
Where's Najaf?
In Africa. Ethiopia.
No.
Najaf is in the Arabian Peninsula. In Iraq.
Right, so actually, the Ethiopian kingdom, and you can go away and research this yourself, had a colony, an extension of its empire that went into the Arabian Peninsula. The Ethiopians know this. They celebrate it in their history. You're not the only ones with history books. And their empire wanted to go to Mecca to destroy the Kaaba because of its idolatry and paganism. Are you aware of that? Yes.
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Thank you. So he's trying to tell me that there were no Christians from Ethiopia in the Arabian Peninsula, and he's admitting that they were.
No, you told me they came
Try
from
again,
Yemen.
Mohammed.
You told me they came from Yemen. I'm telling you, they were not in Yemen. They came from Ethiopia.
They came from the Ethiopian Empire.
You didn't say they came
What?
from Yemen.
No, they died on the way.
No, they
died
died
on the way.
there. They died there. They didn't die on the way.
Thank you, they died there, so I was right. They did try to go there.
The people of the. You are better not to have other story.
Are you aware that the Ethiopians possessed, as part of their Ethiopian kingdom, a colony on the Arabian Peninsula?
Where? Which country?
In the south, it's like the southeast, I guess you would call it.
Southeast?
I mean, it depends where you draw the line. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Where
Go on, sister.
Do you think that England can become a CRE state?
If we allow it to.
Why? Why should we allow it though?
We shouldn't. But if we allow it to, it can.
If but how? How will it? How is it going to pass through Parliament?
There's multiple reasons why it can. One is that we continue to allow uncontrolled immigration. Two is that we don't tackle Islamists. Three is that we continue to commit ourselves to liberal secularism. Four is that we don't commit ourselves to a strong Christian state. If we don't do those four things, you could potentially end up with a Sharia state in the UK. And I'll give you an example. When Nigeria became independent in the 1950s, the Christians in Nigeria weren't stupid. Sorry, 1960s. The Christians in Nigeria weren't stupid. They knew exactly what was at stake. They knew that the Muslims were going to go for power, and they knew that the Muslims were going to go for Sharia. And the Christians thought that their best way to counter it was to put all their chips on a liberal secular state. They thought that that could stop a Sharia state. That gamble failed for the Nigerian Christians, and it will fail everywhere else. So as Christians, we need to abandon liberal secularism as a way of stopping Sharia law.
What do you think about what's happening to Palestinians now? What do you think about what's happening?
No, we're not changing subjects. We're talking about Mohammed's desire to eject Christians and Jews.
Are you supporting IDF here?
I'm not interested in that debate. We're talking about Mohammed. I'm talking about Mohammed. Why are you trying to change the topic? Why are you scared to talk about Mohammed?
I don't know. I'm did talk to you
No,
about it.
hold on. Because every time I tried to talk to you, you said to talk to Mohammed. Now all of a sudden you want to talk to me about the IDF. You said to me 1 second, because I'm going to expose you now. Because you said to me, I can't talk about this topic because my English is not good.
That's right.
Right, but now suddenly your English is good enough to talk about Israel.
Politics. No,
Amazing,
you don't like to talk about politics.
amazing, amazing.
You don't like to talk about IDF.
No, we're talking about why Mohammed wanted to eject.
About IDF,
Why did Mohammed?
I thought it's the same subject.
What is
I
it
thought
wrong?
it's the same subject.
Is what
You're talking about
Israel?
genocide.
Sorry, 1 second. Is what Israel is doing to the Gazans right or wrong?
I don't know.
You
tell
don't
me.
know.
You tell me.
You don't know.
Tell me.
Right?
Tell me.
He doesn't know. I'll say it's wrong.
Educate me.
I'll say it's wrong.
Why? Why
But
is
the
wrong?
same logic. I'm going to tell you.
Thank you.
The logic that allows me to condemn what Israel is doing to the Palestinians is the same logic that leads me to condemn Mohammed. Because Israel is doing what Mohammed planned to do.
How about you?
So when Israel does it, it's evil and bad.
Okay.
But when Mohammed planned to do it, it's okay.
Bob,
Go
let's
on.
make it simple. Let's make it simple. How about you show me historical evidence that Muslims committed genocide based on Muhammad's teachings? Wait. Based on Muhammad's teachings, show me something that proves that Muslims committed genocide against Christians and Jews.
Okay. So, firstly, we have demonstrated.
Just get one example.
No.
Show me one example.
So Muhammad, notice they're not defending Muhammad anymore.
No, I'm defending Muhammad. I'm telling you.
So tell me
I'm
why
telling
did
you.
Muhammad plan to expel the Christians and Jews? Tell us.
Like I told you before.
Go on, you didn't, because
Like I
you
told
said
you before.
you said I need the context.
Like I
That's
told
all you said.
before. Like I told you before.
Go on.
Muhammad was saying to limit the existence of Jews and Christians, not kicking them out.
No,
kicking them out.
that's not what the hadith says.
Listen to me.
No, that's
Yeah.
not what the hadith
No,
say.
because this
Why are
is-
you lying?
No,
We
I'm not
read
lying.
you the hadith. Did it say in the hadith, my plan is to limit the existence of Jews
Did he
and
say to
Christians?
kill them?
No,
Did he
he
say to
said
kill
to
them?
expel them.
Did he say to kill them?
Expel them
He didn't say black.
until only Muslims remain. That's what he said. So why are you lying
Did he say to
about
kill
your own
them?
hadiths?
Did he say?
Why are you lying about your own hadiths?
You're not letting me finish.
Oh, but you interrupted me, Mohammed, and I said I would interrupt you if
Okay,
you
so
interrupted
do you want to
me.
keep doing this? Or
So,
me
do you want to have a conversation?
want me to leave?
Will you not interrupt me? Will you not interrupt? You said you can't
English.
speak to me because your English is not good enough.
No,
Now,
it's as good as
ladies,
you.
so Mohammed,
your native
if you
language.
don't want me to interrupt you, the deal is simple. I will not interrupt you if you do not interrupt me.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So I'm going to make a point.
Okay.
Then I'm going to shut up.
Okay.
I'm going to let you make a point,
Okay.
and then I would ask you to make one point and let me reply, and backwards and forwards we go.
This is a debate.
So 1 second. It does not say in your hadiths what you have falsely said.
Okay.
You'll have lied with your lips about your own prophet. Because in your hadiths, it doesn't say I plan to limit the Jews and the Christians in the Arabian Peninsula. We read two hadiths to you, and in both of those hadiths, it says they are different. They're different words. Now you're interrupting again, so I can interrupt you whenever I want. I can interrupt you just like whenever I want because you interrupted me. So don't complain. So in your contradictory hadiths that have different wordings, you've got the fact that Muhammad is planning to expel Jews and Christians, not as you have lied, that he has planned to limit the existence of Jews and Christians. So here's my question, Mohammed. Now notice they're not even listening. Notice they're not even listening. Mohammed, my question to you is this. What does the word expel mean?
Not genocide. Not genocide.
Are you done? Are you done?
I'm going to interrupt you because you interrupted me.
So you're gonna interrupt me?
Yes, because you interrupted me.
Yeah, no, so what's the point?
Because when you do it, it's okay, but when I do it, it's wrong.
Look, Bob, it's wrong for both. Look,
So
Bob,
why did you do it?
I think this
So
is
why
not
did
a
you do it?
look.
So why did you do
I
it?
think this is
So
not
why
a
did you do it, Mohammed?
Because you made a claim in the middle of
Ah,
us talking.
so I can
which is wrong.
interrupt when you make a claim.
You said two hadith. I told you
One
one
hadith,
hadith,
no.
two books.
I quoted two hadiths,
No, one.
and they are different.
One.
They are different.
Wait,
So I'll
no,
prove it to you,
no.
because you weren't listening.
One hadith.
I'll prove it to you, Mohammed. Go and look up. Wait, we've got. So, go and look up. Right, this is
Have a look
inside.
at the book
Listen,
here.
go and look up. Where's the brother who had the other hadith?
No,
He's
it's
gone.
one hadith from
He's gone.
two sources.
So in Musnad Ahmed, the words are that if I live, inshallah, I will expel the Jews and the Christians.
Okay.
Okay? Right, that's what he said. But here it says in Sahih Muslim, I will expel the Jews and the Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and not leave any but the Muslims. So in other words, we have two hadiths that are different. That are different.
No, they are wrong.
That are different. That's a different thing.
translation.
It's a different thing, but it's
Same
relevant.
hadith.
Right.
This is same hadith.
So we've got problems that the hadiths, both Sahih,
There's no problem.
are different.
The same.
They remember the words differently.
What's the difference? How they are different?
They are different.
How
Yes,
they're different?
they are different.
In what way?
They don't say the same
In what
thing.
way? In what way?
Right?
In what way?
In Ahmed, in Musnad Ahmed, this is what it says. Compare it to what was said previously. If I live, where's the conditional in Sahih Muslim?
Are you done?
Where's the conditional?
Are you done?
Oh, no, no, no. You interrupt me so I can interrupt you.
Hadith.
Here it says, if I live, inshallah. Where's the inshallah in Sahih Muslim? Sahih Muslim insults Muhammad because Sahih Muslim doesn't have Muhammad say inshallah. And shouldn't a Muslim say inshallah when they're making forward plans? So Sahih Muslim portrays Muhammad as a bad Muslim, but Musnad Ahmed says inshallah.
Bob, you're teaching us Islam.
Thank you.
Bob, are you teaching
You're
us
jumping
Arabic as
from
well?
one topic to another. Let me give you a nice suggestion. Very nice
He's
one.
teaching us Arabic
Very
and
nice one.
Islam.
Yes,
Very nice one.
I'll teach you English as well if you like.
If you want to have a debate, if you want to have a debate,
You shouldn't interrupt.
If you want to have a proper
Yeah, you
debate,
shouldn't interrupt, should you,
I
Muhammad?
suggest you speak to one of the many scholars that we have on this
Don't
side.
run away from me.
No, no, no.
Every
They run
week.
away from me.
Yes.
He's fighting.
They run away from me every week.
They run away.
Yeah, we
from
got
me.
on camera, bro.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Because I have seen videos. Of
I've
you
got
and them.
I've got camera.
Okay.
Well,
But
one
they
second,
don't
Mohammed.
debate each
Because
other.
the thing is, you just spoke without knowledge. I've got video evidence of me going up to Ali Dawah and him walking off. Going
But
up
Ali is not-
to
Ali is-
Mansour and him refusing to debate me. Going up to Hashim and him refusing to debate me. Going up to Mohammed Hijab and him refusing to debate me. Going up to that fat sheikh over there and him refusing to debate me. So I've got it all on camera, bro.
I don't appreciate your language at all. Fat shake. This is
I don't appreciate
I can-
being interrupted.
But I can say to you that
He calls Christians far worse things, but you don't go and correct him, do you?
like what?
He goes up, he's insulted me, I've got it on camera. He's insulted me, but will you go and correct him for that? I don't think you will.
If he uses bad words,
Then here's my suggestion, thank you brother. Here's my suggestion to you, is go and look at the video evidence yourself, you can find it on there, and you'll see them
okay,
running
I
away.
know your channel.
Okay, right, yes brother.
Sorry, just one question. He says that praying 5 times a day is not in the Quran.
Yeah, okay, well, here's a challenge then. Right, now notice we're moving on now to a different topic. No. Right, brother, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you because he's just going to interrupt me. He said to you that the 5 prayers are in the Quran. Great, show me.
No. I said they're not.
Yeah, I know it isn't. Well, if he's saying that it is, show us. Where's the 5 prayers in here?
In the Quran.
Where?
I'm not here to debate.
I'm not here to debate. You're just here to tell people things that are not true.
You want me to debate?
If you are trying to debate me,
I
sir.
tried to ask you, but you said to me, I don't want to change the subject. You don't want to talk about IDF. And now you want to change the subject for the 5-time prayer.
Is it wrong what the IDF are doing to the Palestinians?
I said I'm not going to make a comment.
He's not going to make a comment. Do you know why he doesn't want to make a comment? Do you know why he doesn't want to make a comment? Because if he condemns the IDF, he has to condemn Mohammed. And he doesn't want to condemn Mohammed, so he can't condemn the IDF. I must be the only Christian that has managed to get a Muslim to say he won't condemn the IDF.
But this is not a constructive discussion anymore. I bid you adieu.
I bid you adieu as well. Mohammed, if you want to come back maybe another time and debate me without interrupting me, we can have a far more constructive conversation.
No one can interrupt you.
Okay.
No one can interrupt you.
Your
You know
voice
that.
is so loud.
Your
Because I
voice-
interrupted immediately back.
Your voice,
so loud. I cannot
is
interrupt you.
special.
Right, so
I cannot
So have a conversation where you don't
cannot
try to talk
outbid
over
your
me.
voice.
I know
do
you
that.
can't.
I cannot
It's a
do that.
blessing from God for me.
Yeah, of course.
But
Okay.
You want to call it a
Why you
blessing?
hate
Mohammed, do you have a Bible?
Do I? I do have it.
Okay. I would encourage you to read it and come back and ask questions.
About the Bible.
Yes, feel free. If you want to ask questions now, I'll talk about Christianity. And if you promise not to interrupt me, I won't interrupt you.
I'll tell you something very nice.
Okay.
Okay?
Are we not interrupting now?
No. Very, very simple thing. I cannot get my hand around the Trinity
Okay.
in any way or shape.
Sure.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't make any factual sense or even a spiritual sense.
Yep.
So I have a fundamental issue with the theology of Christianity.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go deeper because I cannot accept the fundamental belief itself. I don't have a similar issue with Islam.
Right. Can I reply to that?
Look.
No. You've made a comment. It's only fair now you listen to a reply. Right?
Okay.
I speak to atheists, agnostics, Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists.
Okay.
You know the only group that consistently say they can't understand it? Muslims. I can talk to Buddhists and they can disagree with it, but but understand it. I can talk to Jews and they can understand it and disagree with it. I can speak to Hindus and they can. Now notice you're interrupting again. Notice you're interrupting again. So that tells me something. It tells me that Muslims are being willfully ignorant. I.e., you're making a choice not to understand it because your Quran gets it wrong. Your Quran gets it wrong. Your Quran says that I believe in 3 gods, and it names the gods as Jesus, Allah, and Mary. And that's not me linking those verses together. It's Ibn Kathir who is linking those verses together in his tafsir. There you go.
You're making things up.
No, I'm really not. Really not.
Okay,
You mean like I made up the hadith about genocide
The Trinity is,
that we then showed you?
There's no genocide.
Our Trinity does not
This is no
include
genocide.
Mary.
It didn't kill
Okay?
any
It does
Jews.
not include Mary.
That's
okay?
not what your Quran says,
no,
is it?
No. That's what my Quran says. That
No, it really
does not
doesn't.
include Mary. No.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Shall I show you? I'll prove to you you're wrong again. Okay.
You missed the right.
There is a verse that says. There is a verse that says.
Mr. Know everything.
Right, hold on one second. So in 5116, Surah 5116.
I think it's Holy Quran. نتكلم على الآية بتاعت هل قلت لهم يتخذوني وأمي إلهين
Right.
من دون الله.
Okay. So we're talking about Jesus here. And so we're talking about what Christians believe. Because it's Christians that believe in Jesus.
Can I take a photo?
And on the day of judgment, it says,
Can I take a photo?
yes, of course you can. Yeah.
So yeah, I know
Yeah,
this verse,
right.
but it doesn't
Okay,
say,
hold on
but
one
it doesn't
second.
say
One
that
second.
Trinity includes Mary.
And behold, Allah will say, O
Yes.
Jesus, son of Mary, did
Yes,
thou
yes,
say
yes.
unto men,
Yes, yes.
worship me and my mother
Yeah, I know
as
this verse.
gods in
Yes.
derogation
Yes.
of Allah?
Yes.
How many gods is that?
Yes, no.
How many gods is that?
No. That's just what it says.
How many gods is that?
It says.
How many
have
gods
you
is
told, It says.
How many gods is that,
It
Muhammad?
says, have you told 2? Him and his mother.
In derogation to
So
who?
it tells them.
In
so it
derogation
tells them-
to who?
In derogation means.
Notice it didn't add
No,
Allah.
No.
The verse says Allah, but he didn't add Allah.
Are you done? Can I speak?
Well,
Can I speak?
You know, when you interrupt me, I
You're so
interrupt
loud.
you.
You're so
That is
loud.
the logic.
So loud.
When you stop interrupt me, Matt, no, you don't get to be arbiter here because you've been interrupting me as well. When you guys cannot
There is no
interrupt
point.
me,
There is no point.
I will not interrupt you. It's a really basic rule.
There is no
You
point.
can't demand to be listened to and then interrupt people.
He wanted to
Go on.
describe the script. He wanted to describe the script. Give him
Yeah.
let's give him a
So go on. I'll hold my Quran.
Okay, so it says, وَإِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى ibn Maryam.
Right.
God says, Isa, or
Yeah.
Jesus, the son of Mary,
Yes.
have you told your people to take you and your mother as gods instead of God,
Yeah.
instead of Allah,
Yeah.
not with Allah,
Yeah.
instead of Allah.
Okay.
So this is not 3. This is 2 instead of 1. Okay? And another verse it says, لَقَدْ كَفَرَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ ثَالِثُ ثَلَاثٍ. Those who have said that God is a triunal God have been blasphemous. Okay? So the Trinity in Islam is not explained as God, Mary, and Jesus, God, or Allah and Mary. It doesn't say that. So I'm telling you, my main issue, let's say it's just a fundamental issue, is the fact that the Trinity doesn't make any sense. Don't put me in a bucket with all of the Muslims. My reasons are my reasons. They're valid, objective reasons. I cannot get my head around the idea that it's 3 persons, one essence, 3 persons, coexistence, co-equal. But yet the Father knows more than the Son. The Father can do more than the Son does. The Son listens to the Father all the time. The Holy Spirit listens to the Father. So there is some sort of disparity in authority here. That disparity does not mean they are co-equal coexistence.
Can I reply?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Now, did you see, Mohammed, how easy it was to let the other person speak without interrupting them?
No, I don't.
Right? So now let's see if you can actually demonstrate manners that are better than mine. Because I've demonstrated that I can listen to you. Firstly, let me correct you on something. Right? The way that it should be translated is not the way that you translated it. Because the way it should be translated is more accurate to say, as gods in derogation of Allah, is a more accurate translation of the Arabic than the one that you offered. Now, I'm gonna go with the translation of Abdullah Yusuf Ali. Why? Because I am unaware that you have produced a translation of the Quran, but I am aware that Abdullah Yusuf Ali was a linguist. And I don't think you're a linguist. I don't think you're a professional linguist. But he was. So I'm going to go with his translation and correct your translation. I'm also going to correct your translation about the other verse that you mentioned, because it doesn't say, as you wrongly translated, a triune God. It says, say not three, for Allah is one God, right? So it's contrasting three gods with one God as going too far in your religion. And I want to be clear, Ibn Kathir, in his tafsir of these two passages, links them together. He says in his tafsir that Christians worship three gods, and he links it to the idea of worshipping Allah, Jesus, and Mary. So unless you're claiming to be a better, unless you want to say on record that you're better than Ibn Kathir in giving tafsir on the Quran, then I'm going to go with Ibn Kathir. Would you like to make that claim that you are better than Ibn Kathir in giving tafsir on the Quran? Would you like to make that claim?
Are you done?
Yes.
So you're done.
I want you to answer my question though.
So you're done.
I mean, I didn't get onto the second part of you said, but yeah, I'll let you stop.
No, get to
Yeah.
the second part.
Okay.
And then we can address all of them at the same time.
All right. So to address your second part, you have demonstrated to me that you don't understand the Christian worldview by the comments that you've made. Because we Christians believe in the incarnation. And in the incarnation, all of those things that you remonstrated about, such as Jesus not knowing but the Father knowing, Jesus doing the will of the Father and thus having a different level of authority, all of these things are understood and addressed. And also him limiting himself, you know, to having food and to needing sleep. All of those things are addressed in our understanding of the incarnation. But it's a little cheap, Mohammed, for you to make this argument when you believe that I am holding in my hand literally right now the very words of Allah. I am on this page right now. No, there's the Arabic. There's the Arabic that you literally believe that I'm holding the words of Allah in a book. That if I've lifted up, I lift up the word of Allah. If I put it down, I put down the word of Allah. If I am to do like millions of people do in Saudi Arabia and flush it down the toilet, that I flush the word of Allah down the toilet. But when I point that out to you, you'll say this. You'll say, no, no, no. Anything you do to the paper and the ink, not to the word of Allah. And so you make a distinction between the divine and the material in the same way that Christians do. In other words, the divine can exist in a limited form whilst it's still being unaffected by its very limitations.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. How does what you just said right now explains the disparity in the authority between the Father, the Son,
Yeah.
and the Holy Spirit?
Okay.
Okay, so there are two things. Okay? The word that comes out of your mouth,
Yeah.
it's a word. You put it on a paper, it doesn't matter because it's a word. Now, when we say that the Quran is a revelation from God through Gabriel to Muhammad, so it's a revelation. It's the words of God because God said them and revealed them unto Gabriel to Muhammad.
Yeah.
So you can do whatever. It's a book. The Quran was revealed in a verbal format,
Yeah.
not a book. There was no book that was sent from up there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you know, but the Quran was revealed in 20 years. So this entire book that you have was not revealed at once. At 20 years. Some of them were revealed in certain contexts, certain situations, circumstances. So it's a 20-year revelation. Okay? So when you're trying to make a simile between the Word of God and an actual incarnation, you're saying that God as a deity came down to earth in the form of a human being and died on the cross for our sins. That makes no sense. You're making two uncomparable comparables, basically. You cannot compare between those. Simple as this. I do not believe in two things. The original sin, I don't think I should be held accountable for what Adam made as a mistake, or my father or my grandfather, doesn't matter to me. I believe, based on my belief, that every single soul is responsible for what they have done. They will be held accountable for what they have done. Sins are not passed over through blood. No such thing as curses through blood. Second point, I do not believe that God can die, because dying makes God cease to be God. God cannot do something that will make him cease to be God. For example, God cannot create a rock so heavy for him to lift, because it goes against the concept of being a God. God cannot be created, because if God is created, then he's no longer a God.
Can I reply?
I'm
I want to let you land.
making the claims.
Yeah, okay.
So, it's not that I don't understand the Trinity because I chose to. No, it's because I tried to understand it and it still didn't make any sense to me.
Can I reply now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So firstly, you've demonstrated again that you don't understand the Christian worldview, because Christians agree with you, divinity can't die, and we don't claim that divinity died. What we claim is that Christ's humanity died on a cross. That's what we actually claim. That is what we actually believe. That's what's confirmed at the Council of Ephesus. That's what the apostles teach when they repeat the refrain again and again and again, that Christ died according to the flesh. Christ died according to the flesh. Christ suffered according to the flesh. That is the refrain of the Bible. It's the teaching of the church. And so I say, Amen. God can't die. We believe that. So you've kind of misunderstood the Christian position. But you have also demonstrated that you have the same logic, because you said that whatever I do to the book, I'm just doing to the paper, not doing to the revelation. So in other words, you created a distinction between Mohammed, don't let him distract you. We made a distinction. You made a distinction between the material world, right? You made a distinction, right? Not that I ever would. Not that I ever would. But if I was to get this Quran and then kick it across the floor, right? That would piss you off,
Let him finish.
right?
Let him finish.
Yeah,
Let him finish.
you're just triggered. No one's your dimmy. No one's your dimmy. No one's your dimmy. Thank you. Learn some manners. Now, if I was to kick this Quran across the floor, the first thing is there's a double think in your logic. Because firstly, you'd be really pissed off and you'd probably punch me for being disrespectful.
Okay.
Right? But the next thing is you've just tried to argue that if I did do that, I'm not actually kicking the revelation, just kicking the paper and the ink. So is it just paper and ink, or is it actually the revelation? What you're doing is, on one emotional level, you're saying that this is the word of Allah, but then intellectually you're saying, no, these is just paper and ink. But you're creating that distinction to say that if I were to do something as horrendous as kick the Quran across the floor, that I'm not doing that to the revelation. I can't affect the revelation. The revelation is unfazed, untouched. But the word of Allah is eternal. Is this book eternal? Obviously not. So what you're saying is that the eternal and the divine sit next to the material and the temporal, and that one, what happens to one doesn't affect the other. And we Christians say the same thing.
No way, no way.
So, I just want to address the point that you said that Jesus died on the cross as a flesh, okay?
He died in the flesh, yes.
Died in the flesh, okay. This is the Catholic view.
This is all Christians' view.
The Orthodox view says that the Legos... Let me speak. That the divinity of Jesus and his flesh never separated at any point.
But it doesn't say they
The
come...
Orthodox, they say that.
Sorry,
Okay,
I'll let you finish. Sorry, my apologies, I'll let you finish.
Let me finish.
My apologies.
The Orthodox, because what you just said, yeah, the Catholics, they do believe in that. That the Logos and the Theos, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but that the nature of Christ that is divine, separated from the nature of Christ that is not divine, which is the human nature, in the Catholic belief. Now the Orthodox, on the other hand, they believe that they were never separated at any point. But that's a distinction between both.
Can I reply to that point?
I just want to continue on the paper point.
I'll be very quick. Very quick. Just to say that Orthodox and Catholics have exactly the same view of the crucifixion.
No.
They believe that the two natures of Christ are not confused, not mingled, not changed by one another, and not separated for an instant.
Catholics believe in that?
And Orthodox.
No way.
Catholics believe in that.
And Orthodox.
Okay.
Also,
Can you show me that?
Christian,
That
no.
Catholics believe that? I know that the Orthodox, they believe in that. I'm pretty sure of that.
I can prove it to you in just a very one simple statement. The Catholics.
May I ask, what is your background? What?
I've got a degree in religious studies.
No.
No,
What?
no,
What?
no,
What?
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're
Just a
wrong.
Christian, just a disciple of
So
Jesus.
no Catholics.
No, you're
I'm
wrong.
ecumenical.
You're wrong. No,
Yeah.
sorry, Mr. Speaker.
You need to
You're
learn some
wrong.
manners.
You're wrong.
You need to
And
learn some
listen,
manners.
Apologize. You're wrong. And all. Pardon?
Because we mentioned the camel fish.
No. Mr. Speaker, you're wrong.
Right,
And you
sir,
come in
bro,
for Trump
Mohammed.
and America.
So very quickly, you can just check this for yourself. Just check if the Roman Catholic Church accepts the Council of Ephesus and the Council of Chalcedon. You'll see that they do, and it's the Council of Ephesus and the Council of Chalcedon that lay out the very doctrines we're talking about.
Why are the Catholics and Orthodox distinct?
Not for that reason. Not for that reason.
It's one of the reasons.
No, it really isn't.
It's one of the reasons.
No, I'm telling you as a religious studies student who knows for a fact you're wrong.
What did I read then?
Right.
What did I read?
Well, you read some, I don't know, some dodgy website. Probably a dodgy website.
Okay, because-
Or maybe you read something and you just didn't understand it.
Okay.
But that isn't the reason why Roman Catholics and Orthodox went their separate
One
ways.
of the reasons.
It isn't
It's
that.
not the main. It's
No,
one of the
it
reasons.
really isn't.
One of the reasons as well is something else like.
Mohammed, it's really not.
Okay.
I'm telling you as a religious studies student who's got a degree in religion and specialised in Christianity and Islam, you're just flat out wrong, bro. You're just flat out wrong.
Okay.
Right.
So you're saying that according to the
You
Catholics,
you also said something else that was
similar
wrong.
to the Orthodox in the sense that
It's identical.
that the Logos and Theos never separated from one another.
Right, so let me just correct that. So logos is Greek for word and theos is Greek for God.
Okay.
In Christology, both for Orthodox and Catholics, you're essentially saying the same thing here. Because logos is divine and theos means God. So we wouldn't say God separates from God. What you're trying to say, and it's also wrong, is that the humanity separated from the divinity. That is not what anyone says. What we say is that Christ died according to the flesh, because the two natures are never separated, but they're never confused, they're never changed, and they're never mingled.
How can one nature die and the other survives?
Brilliant. How can I burn a Quran but the eternal word of Allah not be
It's
burned?
the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Oh, so answer
not
that
the
question
same
then. Answer the question.
It's not the same thing.
No, I want you to answer the question.
No, you're burning a piece of paper. You can burn a piece of paper.
There you
What
go.
does that mean?
So you can
What does that
crucify, I'm going to answer your question. So you can crucify a body, but the divinity is not crucified.
No.
Yes,
Because you're
yes.
talking about a being. No,
Yes,
no,
yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
telling you that this book is separated from God. I tell you that now. I'm telling you it's separated.
Is-
It's not part with God. This is not one with God.
Okay.
This is not one with God. So if this is burned, God does not burn because this is not one with God. You're telling me that the flesh and so the Logos and Theos are one eternally.
Right.
And one burned or one died and the other didn't. I'm not making the same
Right, one
claim.
second. You are making the same claim, you just don't understand the claims you're making.
No.
The reason why you don't understand the claims you're making is because you don't understand it from the Christian position. Let me just point out something. You just said if I burn this book, I'm only burning a book. Right? And that this book is separate from Allah. But let me ask you this question. Are these words the words of Allah?
The words?
Yes.
The words are
Yes.
the words of God, yes.
Brilliant. Is Allah ever separated from his words?
Words are a result of God.
Are they? That's not my question. Is Allah ever separated from his words?
What do you mean separated from His word?
As in, is the word of Allah something separate from Allah himself?
No, the words of Allah are a result of God. You speaking, your words, are they part of you or not?
Great. So 1 second. So you agree that these are the words of Allah, but this is not connected to Allah, separate from Allah, but you also affirm that these are the words of Allah and Allah is never separate from his words.
No, I'm affirming these words that you see, these are writings. These are not words. These are writings.
So
So these are words that are written down. These are words
Yeah.
that are written down.
Yes.
So whatever you have here whatever you have here, it's written down
Yeah.
as a word that got written down.
Yes.
So I cannot say, like, I'm writing a book. Let's say I write a book now. These words that I put down on paper,
Yes.
if you burn the book, is it going to affect me? No, it's not going to affect me. Okay? And my words are intangible. You cannot kill me from my words. You're making two comparisons that don't make any sense.
Let me just walk you through it, because you have actually admitted it just a few minutes ago, but you didn't see it. You have affirmed that these are the words of Allah, and you have affirmed. Mohammed, I didn't interrupt you. You have affirmed that these are the words of Allah, and you have affirmed that Allah is not separate from His words. But you have also affirmed that these are the words of Allah, but the words on the book are separate from Allah. So you have affirmed that the words of Allah are in their material form, changeable, destructible, kickable, burnable, whatever.
What do you mean material form?
But in their non-material form, they are never separate from Allah. In the same way, Muhammad, in the same way, we affirm that the person of the Logos possessed fully his own divine nature and the human nature that he created, and that when he suffered the stripes, he suffered them according to the flesh. He suffered them in the flesh. But the divinity never suffered stripes. When the humanity died, the divinity did not die. So we're affirming the same logic that you're affirming. We're just talking about two different topics.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You're comparing two things that are not related to one another.
Tell me how. Where's my logic
I'm
wrong?
telling you
Tell me how my logic wrong
I'll
is.
tell you.
Go on.
My word, as long as I'm saying it, it's not separate from me. If I put my word on a paper, that's a book. That's no longer a word. That's a book now.
Right.
So it's a different thing. Now, if you're telling me Christ, which was sent by God, that He is God Himself, is God's incarnation on earth, and He died for our sins. So that God that you're talking about, that deity, based on, let's say, Catholic and Orthodox, according to what you have just said, they're never separated from one another.
Yeah, they don't separate.
They don't separate.
How are they united? Do you know? It's irrelevant to the question. So we're saying that the way in which they're united is in the person of the divine Logos, the angel of the Lord.
Okay, so
That is the point of their
which
unity.
person? Which person?
The person of the Son.
So Jesus.
Yes, the person of the Son.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that person has two distinctive natures that are interlinked to one another.
They are united in the person. Yes, that's what we believe.
Okay. So it's one person, two distinctive natures.
Correct.
But both are non-separable from one another.
What time have we got?
No, it's not time. I'm getting messages from my phone.
Okay, what time is it, just incidentally?
45 past 6, 6:45.
Right, Mohammed, I got to bring this to a close.
Okay. How about this, Bob? How about this?
Yeah.
Let me go back. I'll read the same sources that I've read
Yep.
about the distinction between Catholics and Orthodox in this particular thing.
Fair enough.
Because I've also read about the Council of Nicaea, what happened there, the Arians, the kind of heresy that they have
Yep.
said.
Yep.
I've done some research on this topic. So let me go back and just try to understand again. Maybe next time I'll come with sources and quote them to you
Great, let's do that.
instead of just me saying things that I understood.
That's totally fine, and that's totally respectable. Mohammed, what I want to do is, I know we started off a little confrontational, but all the way through I can tell it was good humoured, and I just want to say thank you. I appreciate that. So, and I want to give you a gift as a goodbye gift, just a little gift for you, to demonstrate that however you felt the debate was going, there was no bad intention from me. You know, I try to do everything in love.
I don't consider this a debate.
Okay, that's fine. So here's my gift to you, a Muslim's pocket guide to Christianity. Have a read of that, come back with whatever questions. That's a little gift for you, just to show my appreciation and respect. Yeah?
To be honest with you, I'm just here for the discussion.
That's totally
Not here
fine, I
for
like
debate.
that. Have you got a gospel?
Thank you, I think this is fine. I
Yeah.
have it online.
Brilliant. Come, bring us your best questions. Bring us your best questions.
Anyways, the next time I'm gonna come with the same sources that I discussed.
Great, we'll do that.
earlier.
We'll do that.
Catholics and
Yeah.
Orthodox and Protestants,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Can I help you? The distinction that you're looking for is not between Orthodox and Catholics. The distinction that you're trying to enunciate and articulate is between Oriental Orthodox and Catholics. That's where the distinction that you're talking about. Yeah, but it wasn't the one you were talking about.
Also, the full name of the Orthodox Church.
So
is
the Orthodox, okay,
Eastern
I'm talking
just-
about the biggest
Mohammed,
Oriental Orthodox Church.
Forgive me, but it's a bit of a flex. I'm trying to show you that I know more than you, because I'm trying to show you
That is fine.
the Orthodox and the Catholics are in complete
Eastern
unity.
and Western Orthodox. I know there are
Yeah,
two different.
exactly.
Like for example, the Western could be.
So the Oriental position is not what you described, but in their Christology there is a difference between the Oriental and the Eastern Orthodox and the Catholic, but it's an intellectual distinction. It's not a distinction of substance.
Okay, well, as far as I know, there is a distinction in the creed, and that's my main issue.
Mohammed,
The
I'm
creed
an
is
Eastern Orthodox. You
Which part of the creed?
like this. For example.
And which creed exactly are we talking about here?
Just the fundamental creed about the theos. the
So there's-
logos.
there's-
So I'm gonna. Anyways, I think you need to go.
The only one that you could be referring to is the Athanasian Creed, and everybody agrees on that.
The only major distinctions between
The only one you could be talking about in terms of Christological creeds, the only creed that is universally accepted by the Church is the Athanasian Creed. What you're actually, if you're talking about any kind of distinctions in the creed, like the fundamental creed, well, there's only one fundamental creed, and it's the Nicene-Constantinopolitan Creed, and that doesn't even talk about the
So the
incarnation.
Nicene says, as far as I know, that the God, the Father, is different from the Son, different from the Holy Spirit, and the three gods.
No
It's
creed
the
says
law-
that.
It's the law of belief. I'm not sure if I'm.
No Christian says that we believe in three gods.
So the
No.
Father,
Yeah,
the Son.
yeah.
Okay. I know it in Arabic, so I'll have to translate.
Bring it. Let's talk, Mohammed. Have a read of that, man. It's lovely to talk to you. God bless you.